when I read that, it seemed to me that he was somehow through the consultants or the master plan process feeling that, we're gonna need, 2 full years in order to kind of put something together, and that just seems way too much time to me. And I just don't want us to be locked in to having the Knox Play School for 2 more years in the trailers.
I think that, with the language here, and if in fact we can add a clause to the agreement, the 2-year agreement, that we have an exit with minimal damage to the town, or little or none. I mean, with an understanding that, because it's just not clear. We don't have clarity on what the potential financial impact of the town is. And you get concerned when you break an agreement, no matter who. If it's not clear in their agreement, they're signing it. They can sign anything they want. It's a contract. So therefore, if we have to add a clause that reduces our potential, if they agree to, well, they would have to agree to move.
Well, see, what this amendment to the lease does, it's an amendment to the lease for that specific premises.
Right.
It's not, an amendment to any place that we desire in the park.
Right.
That's my concern.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's
Because,
how I read it,
yeah,
how I interpreted it.
yeah.
If we changed it to a 1-year term, we've defined and
I
not have
think
to worry
we
about
have
it.
enough time in a 1-year term.
Well, I think what Teresa's saying, George's thought was, we don't know when the master plan will be done.
Right.
And when it is completed, there still may be some lead time required to bring about the change from the facility it's in now, for the school, to the other facility. That lead time starts after the master plan is not just looked at by the Parks and Rec Commission, but the city council and the public. And I think what Teresa said he was saying was, he didn't want the city council to be under the gun with pressure to move forward quickly to do something, because now we've got the school sitting there, maybe it's next December or January, and they're going, wait a minute, I need to know how many students I can have. I need to know what the facility will, I need to know what to charge them.
Then we can give them another,
So, George thought that 2 years was right. We should either approve it, in my opinion, we should either approve it or we should continue it until next month when George is here and he can say why he made this recommendation. It goes until August, so it doesn't seem to me like a month is a big deal.
Sounds reasonable.
Well,
I'm
I
ready to
think-
vote.
You ready? I think that I'm kind of the same. If I could go for a shorter term, knowing that we have a way to minimize our impact, it may be a month, it may be, 12 months, maybe 2 years. But without George here, I can't really.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we renew their lease for a 12-month period, beginning September 1, 2014, with a guaranteed 1-year option to extend, with the base rent adjusted by the increase in CPI for that extension, right? And to either at a new location at the park or their existing location.
I will second that.
Well, that would lock in the term, so you can't raise their rent if the new.
The rent, but
Yes,
that's what
right.
this
with
is.
CPI,
Exactly.
All I'm
But
saying
that's-
is the new
that's-
facility might
Cost more.
command a higher rent. It might allow her to have more students.
But that's what this amendment would do anyway for 2 years, unless you said that there's no way no possibility at all for us to have a new facility ready within a 2-year period. I mean, it's like saying, okay, we're gonna have this play school there for 2 full more years in those trailers. I think that's.
And what I'm not
ridiculous.
understanding is the motion that you're making, because it said 1 year plus a 1-year option. That's in the same facility, and a 1-year option you didn't increase it other than CPI.
But,
But you said with the opportunity to move, that means the lease would still be in place,
mhm.
the $6,690 or whatever plus CPI, in the new facility, which might be worth $8,000 a month because she has more students. I don't know.
Mhm.
But if you're willing to want to do that, that's certainly something we can,
But that's what this would do anyway.
No.
this is only in that first facility.
How is this motion any different than what George recommended? I don't think it is.
It changes it from a 2-year to a 1+1.
1+1.
But a 1+1 is the same as 2.
But the-
Yes.
Well, George's recommendation is 2 years and it's with the facility. And as I understood the city attorney, that if we choose to have a different facility available, obviously we need to assess
The value.
the value,
Right.
also leasehold improvements that are gonna be required, et cetera, weigh it against other opportunities and things like that, and George would then go back and renegotiate the contract. And under those circumstances, he could change he could go to Susan and say to her at any time, I'd like to put you in a different facility, this is what the cost is, are you interested, and then negotiate a different change. And so, I think that his recommendation was a 2-year agreement. We should move forward with his recommendation, understanding that he can make the change as the city attorney has indicated, if something
That's not what
changes.
this amendment says. But Bill, that's not what this amendment says. I mean, she could say, well, no, I'm just gonna stay here for 2 full years.
Because,
Yeah, and
and then we
I
wouldn't be
don't
spending the house,
want,
updating the house.
The way you've amended it,
yeah.
it would mean that we'd have an option in transferring her with only a 12-month escalator risk at the new facility, and we could renegotiate the new term of the new agreement after the 12-month extension.
Right, yeah,
And
which is
then-
a
and we- and then
pretty
we could go up to
small,
market,
it's a
Yes.
pretty small risk, I think,
right?
in the overall
When
scheme of things.
Then there are other issues out there. You're gonna have to tell me exactly when that 2nd-year option triggers, and
Of course, I
she's.
mean, I've done
Well, no,
real estate leases a
Your
lot.
motion,
so
your
I
motion
think that,
didn't include that, and I'm the one that's gonna have to draft a lease that says when the option kicks in. Understand,
Mhm.
it may be critical to her when that kicks in, because as she indicates, she needs to know February 1st what facility, what if she's gonna have a facility.
Mhm. So, let's say the option to be exercised by February 1st, 2015.
And that may or may not be acceptable, but that's, the risk we take, I suppose. Because the other risk is we continue it for a month and let George defend his negotiation.
Well,
I mean,
So do we have a second on the motion?
I can withdraw my motion, it seems very confusing to
I
everybody.
think we can
I'd like to
continue.
make a motion that we approve George's recommendation of a 2-year extension of the Knox Place school lease.
Do I have a second? I see no second, so let's carry this over till next month, sorry.
Okay,
Or
that's
to
what
our
we-
study session.
Sure.
How about our study session, March 5th? Can we do that?
When we do that.
Town reserve policy on there, and we have revenue enhancements. But-
That's
As long as
okay.
we get in and out within 2 hours.
This is gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no action to be taken at the study
Right.
session.
Right.
we can. It's
We
just-
can take
Can,
action.
we've done it before.
Mhm.
So
Yes, we
let's,
have.
so with that, let's go ahead and move on to item number 16. Councilman Whitmer.
I already explained what I was looking for, and I think that Mike had indicated that that was a possibility to be added. So it was extend when they're doing the patching of the path around the park, which we all agreed was important, that we would have extend it for the safe routes to school so they don't have to ride their bikes through the mud. Okay?
Did we,
You have to have action.
Go ahead,
You have to take a vote on it.
please.
Yeah, that's why we're doing.
Let's go ahead and go through the formal portion of the process. Any public comment on that? Seeing none, closing public comment, bringing it back to council. Any comments? Seeing none, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 16 with an amendment that there would be an extension of the path for the safe routes to school to the back gate.
I'll second that.
I will second it. Perfect. Final, let's go to council reports.
Do we want to vote on?
All in favor, aye.
All in favor, aye. I'm moving you, sorry. All in favor, aye.
Yep.
4 ayes. Moving on, sorry, somebody got me distracted. Item number 22, council reports. Thank you, everybody, for filling out council reports. Fabulous job. Any future agenda items? Public comments? Any public comments? Seeing none.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for attending and holding out till the end. You make it?
So are you one of our residents?
No, I'm an innocent bystander.
Oh.